Students, let us now try to understand the Mendel's monohybrid cross. So, what is this monohybrid cross? It is a cross between two plants which differ in only one pair of characters. So, here we have Mendel first took the character to be plant height, and its two alternate forms that he found was a tall plant and a dwarf plant. In our previous module, I have told you the line of Mendel's work. So, in the beginning, he got all the pure breeds for the tall plants and dwarf plants. So, when he crossed the tall plant with the dwarf plant, he found all tall plants in the first filial generation. That is the generation which is obtained from the parent plants. So, he got all tall plants in the F1 generation. And when he self-pollinated these tall plants in the F2 generation, he got 3 tall plants and 1 dwarf plant. This was a very surprising observation, because see here in F1 generation, when he had taken the tall and the dwarf plant together, he got all the tall plants. Whereas in F2 generations, he had taken the tall plants that he got in F1 generation. There was no dwarf plant, yet he got a dwarf plant for every 3 tall plant. Now comes the question, how did it happen? So, Mendel postulated his theory here. What he said? Mendel said that there are 2 alleles for each character. Here, single T, they represent the alleles of a character. And these alleles are always present in pairs, and that is why I have written capital T and small t. So, a notation in genetics is developed to denote the different alternating forms of a character. For the time being, you take capital T is the alleles for tallness of the plant. So, these alleles, they control the tallness of the plant. They are the factors later known as genes for the tall character of the plant. And small t are the alleles for the dwarfness of the plant. So, he said these alleles are present in pairs and they control the character. When gametes are formed, each gamete receives only one of the allele. So here see, this gamete has received only one member of capital T and this gamete has received the other member of capital T. Likewise, this gamete has received one of the member of the small t, and this gamete has received the other member of the small t. Now, each gamete, this denotes a male or a female or vice versa in this particular case. So, these gametes will fuse during the fertilization at random. Say this gamete can fuse with this gamete can fuse with this gamete, and the same for the capital T. So, what we have seen in the reproduction chapter, that during sexual reproduction, what happens? First, the organism matures. Then it forms gametes. The gametes fertilize. Then the offspring is produced. Think of the same thing. Here the gametes are produced, but there are so many gametes, but the offspring is one or countable, whereas we have innumerable gametes. So it can have a random chance of fertilization. So what Mendel did, he took all possible combinations for the fertilization. And what he found? That every combination has a capital T and small t. And the phenotype of the plant is tall. Phenotype means the external appearance of the plant. The external appearance is tall. So what Mendel said, that the capital T has masked the effect of small t. It has suppressed the effect of small t. So he called the capital T allele to be dominant over small t. So a dominant allele is one which expresses itself even in presence of another type of allele for the same character. So here the capital T is dominant allele. So wherever capital T is present, the tallness of the plant is expressed. And he took two of the tall plants from F1 generation and self-crossed them. And what he found? Again he'll find the gametes of either capital T or small t type. Here also capital T and small t type. And then there will be random fertilization. This capital T can fertilize with this capital T. This capital T can fertilize with this small t. This small t can fertilize with this capital T, and this small t can fertilize with this small t. So what are the combinations possible? Capital T, capital T, capital T, small t, capital T, small t, and small t, small t. So this is the pure tall plant. This is hybrid tall. This is also hybrid tall, and this is dwarf. Dwarf is always pure. So what he concluded from here? See, again, wherever capital T is present, the plant is tall. And when the capital T is absent, two of the alleles of small t are there, then the plant is dwarf. So conventionally, we take the capital letter of the dominant trait as the first letter for indicating the character. Say, out of tall and dwarf, tall is dominant. It starts with capital T or T. So we take T, the capital one, to be the allele name. Suppose I have yellow seed color and green seed color for the P seed, and yellow seed color is dominant over the green seed color. So how will I represent that? I will represent the trait for the yellow color with capital Y, where capital Y, each one signifies the allele of the character yellowness of the seed. And then the small letter is taken for the recessive character. So here small t is taken for the dwarf character. And there the second example that I gave you, yellow and green seed. If capital Y is for the yellow trait of the seed color, then small y will depict the green trait of the seed color. So there the alleles will be capital Y for the yellow colored seeds and small y for the green colored seed. So this is a convention in genetics. So what Mendel said, I am coming again onto that. Mendel said that each character is controlled by a pair of alleles. Out of a pair of contrasting character, one of the allele or factors is dominant and it always expresses itself. The other factor remains suppressed, and that is known as the recessive factor. And this is the first principle of Mendel, the law of dominance and recessiveness, which states that out of a pair of contrasting character, only one character expresses itself, and that is the dominant character. And the other character does not disappear but remain hidden or masked, and that character is known as the recessive character. This is first principle of Mendel. The second principle, that is principle of segregation, states that when the contrasting pair of characters, they fuse, the factors for the character separate out from each other during gamete formation, and they again reunite upon fertilization. So, the factors for the characters separate during gamete formation. They segregate out during gamete formation and again reunite during the fertilization. And this is the principle of segregation. So, in short, the total explanation of Mendel is that when he took tall and dwarf plant, the tall character was dominant over the dwarf one. So, it expressed itself in the F1 generation. So, when the F1 generation was self-crossed, we got three combinations where capital T was present. So, all of them were tall. And the last one where capital T was absent and both the alleles were small t, the dwarfness of the character, the dwarf character expressed itself. So from here what we find? For F1 generation all the plants are tall. But in F2 generation there are 3 tall and 1 dwarf plant. So this 3:1 ratio is the phenotypic ratio of monohybrid cross. The phenotypic ratio means the ratio of the appearance of character. So, the phenotypic ratio of the monohybrid cross is 3:1. And genotypic ratio means the makeup of the genes or alleles or the factors is 1:2:1. 1 pure tall, 2 hybrid tall and 1 pure dwarf. And see, that is what we have got. Capital T signifying pure tall, capital T small t signifying hybrid tall. There are 2 hybrid talls and 1 pure dwarf, small t. So, this is your monohybrid cross.